welcome back. So I thought, okay, I am back in the car. Let me adjust you. This week we could bop around a little bit to some thrift stores and try to see if we can dig something up for me to work with. So I specifically am looking for like bed sheets, flat or fitted. I could probably use pillowcases even. If there's anything like curtains or things that could be used like as bottom weights for shorts, I'm open to that. If there's any like nice looking quilts I could make a quilt coat in the fall with, I'm going to kind of start looking for that stuff now so that when it's time for me, not really time, when I start feeling like sewing for fall, I have something to work with. So I figured today we could do a few thrift stores. Most of the ones around here are like Goodwill, Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul. So I'm going to try to hit up as many of those as I can this afternoon. It's pretty fast to go through the linen section typically. So I think the longest part is going to be the driving around, if we're being honest. And then I will also take you to City Sewing Room, which is what is the fabric thrift, as I call it. That is what it's technically called. But they're not open today. They're open tomorrow, so we'll go there tomorrow. So come with me while we try to figure kind of a hit or miss. Let's do it. So apparently my microphone decided not to work during this. So I'm going to tell you right now, the first thrift shop was a total bust. There was not much there. It was mostly like really fluffy blankets and some towels and some placemats, which is not what I was looking for this time. And so I decided to go ahead and head on to the next one. Okay, this second stop was much more lucrative than the first. So first, this is poly cotton, but it's a bed sheet, and I think it's like 60-40, 60% cotton, 40% recycled polyester, which for testing patterns on, I think will be fine. I think it's a queen size. I'm not sure it says. Made in Pakistan. I think it's queen size. So that'll be good. It's $2.90, I think. And then this was the real find. This is flannel, 100% cotton, thank goodness. I think it's going to make a really nice either quilted jacket or a quilted something, or I could probably use it on the back of a queen size Christmas quilt. This is a queen size flat sheet in these cool colors. So that was a good find. It is now, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock. It takes me about half an hour to get home, probably, depending on where I am. If I can work my way back home via a few more thrift shops, I think that will be the move. So I will see you at the next location. So I don't know if I said, but the last stop was St. Vincent de Paul, and their prices were really good. But I stopped at a Goodwill, and I guess the red tags are 75% off today. So I got a twin sheet. It's like light pink. It doesn't really matter. I can use it for testing patterns on, which is perfect. It's twin size, and between this and the other piece, the cost was $2.65. So great find on fabric there. The second thing I found, I think is going to make like the coolest pants for fall. I got a lot of fall and winter stuff today apparently, but it's this orange tablecloth that's definitely fall colored for sure. I have no idea how big it is. Let's see if I can find a tag on it. Ha, a tag. 100% cotton, incredible. It's from Walmart. Apparently. There is not a size listed on it, but it feels pretty big, so it's probably big enough for pants, which would be really cool. So I have one more Goodwill that I can stop at on my way home. It's like on the way. So I'll stop there and then I'll wrap it up for the day, and then we'll head to City Sewing Room tomorrow, which is like a whole different beast, and so we'll talk about that on the way there. So let's go see what I can find at the last Goodwill of the day. Okay, it is the next day. The last thrift store I went to yesterday was a bust. I didn't find anything. It was like towels and fluffy blankets, which not the vibe. So it is the next day and I am at City Sewing Room. So I thought I would give you guys a little bit of a like rundown of kind of how this place works. So when I show the video of me, show the video inside, you kind of know what's going on. The biggest thing to know here is that it is $2 a pound. So for fabric. And I think some of the notions and stuff, so like there's some knitting needles and all kinds of like other little crafty things. Patterns and books are totally free. They typically have sewing machines for sale, and those are, I think, just kind of like you ask the price on them or they're labeled. I don't know. I don't need a sewing machine, so I haven't looked. The other thing is that they also do like classes here to teach people how to sew different kinds of crafts and things. And you can also, they have a separate building from where I'm going to go shop. They kind of have a separate outbuilding. These are kind of all tiny little buildings that they are in. It's mostly classroom space. But they have another building that has a long arm quilting that you can like rent for, you know, using a long arm. So if I ever want to use one or I want to pay to use one, like if I have something that's like too fluffy or bigger than I can use on my like little machine that I use, I can come over here and they can teach you how to use the long arm, and you can rent the long arm for quilting. So that's pretty cool. What else do they do here? This is a non-profit, and they work all on like donated fabric, like people cleaning out their stashes and stuff like that. So that's kind of how this place started, I believe. My mom and I were working with somebody who was running a similar nonprofit out of her basement. God bless her. She was like well into her late 80s. She was running this out of her basement, and this is where she brought all of her fabric when she decided that it was time for her to shut that down. So similar vibe, and like, but per pound, you can't beat it. So here's the plan. I am looking for bottom weights, so things I can use for shorts and pants. I am looking for, this is kind of like you see what they have out kind of thing. I'm also looking for fabric to make the picnic blanket quilt that I have talked about. And then I'll also get some fabric that I can just like test things on, like weight wise. So for the farmer's market bag, I think I want something that's like a little heavier. So I might try to see if they have something like that in there. But other than that, you just kind of like have to feel out what they've got like out in the shop area. And it's just kind of a place you come every once in a while because they turn stuff over so frequently. I'm even like, they don't have a very big parking lot, but I'm like parked down the street quite a bit because they're pretty busy this afternoon, which is incredible. I love that they're here, and I hope that they're here as long as I need them to be, which is forever. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off, and we're going to run inside, and we're going to see what we can dig up, and I will show you what I dig up when I get back. There we go. And I didn't find a lot of quilting stuff this week. I think that's probably what they're most popular for because they can break stuff down really well. This time they had bags and bags of like quilting pre-cuts, which I dug through. And when I'm gonna look up like some scrappy quilts and things, like patterns and things. So the next time I come, I kind of have a plan of how much I would need to get or how many bundles I would need to get. But they had like pre-cut like jelly rolls and some squares and like fat quarter bundles where they like, bundled them all together and kind of like matched the colors, coordinated the colors and patterns and stuff, which was really cool. They didn't have those last time I was here. But I was also there at the same time as somebody who, she said she was a dog groomer, and so she was making bandanas for every dog. So she kind of like cleared out some of the quilting fabrics, like the quilting cottons, which is like not a huge deal. You never know what you're going to get when you come here. But I did find some good other things. I found this, which is a chambray. It was on the premium rack, so this itself was $10, but it's 2 yards chambray cotton. And if this tells you how quickly they turn things over, they put this on the shelves on the 7th of this month, so a week ago, and it's 46 inches wide by 2 yards, so I can either get a sleeveless shirt out of that or maybe a pair of shorts. We'll see, but it's quite a nice color and fabric. This was $10. Did I say that? It was on the premium rack. But I also, the heavyweight cotton bin, everything's kind of in bins and like wrapped up in rubber bands. I did not film today because they had a big class going and there were like a ton of people in there. And just to respect everybody's privacy, I decided that I would get in there, do my thing, and get out so that I didn't make anybody feel uncomfortable. But I found this heavyweight cotton. It's kind of like a hunter green tealy kind of color, which on my face, terrible color. Can you see that? Makes me look sick. But it's a color I love, and I think it would make a really great like shorts, cargo shorts kind of thing. This color reminds me of like the camp in Parent Trap, Camp Walden in the Parent Trap. And I just like love this color for like for shorts and summer and all those kinds of things. So I have no idea what the yardage is on this. I have no idea how wide it is, but I can tell you that it was $4. So that means it weighs 2 pounds. Okay, so I just got to the kitchen this morning and I am looking at the fabric that I bought yesterday at City Sewing Room. And one of them, the green, was not a heavyweight. It was like actually a pretty thin cotton, but there's a lot of it. And then this chambray, but let me grab the sheet from the thrift store. I was trying to figure out what to do with this sheet because I'm thinking that a quilt back might be nice because it's flannel, it's soft, it'd be really warm for winter. And all of a sudden I'm looking at this, and could you imagine these three things together with maybe like navy and white fabric as a quilt top? That I think it could be kind of Christmassy, kind of wintry. I don't know. That was kind of the vision I had this morning. And overall, I had like a really great success on this thrift trip. I just always go in assuming that I'm not gonna find anything, because if you are trying to look for something specific, you're not gonna find it in my experience. So finding these few things that I can actually use that were like kind of big pieces of fabric, I think is gonna be really fun. The things I did not find were enough fabric for the picnic blanket quilt in the colors that I wanted. I'll go back to City Sewing Room or I'll look for a super sale somewhere. I got a couple of fabrics for testing on, but I didn't find anything that I like really loved for a farmer's market bag. And now I'm kind of thinking about it, like a cotton drop cloth might work really well. Something sturdy that you can like really carry some things in. So I might go to a hardware store when I'm ready to make the final product of that and find some canvas there. What else did I find? I think that was kind of it this week. I hope you enjoyed this little journey on thrifting instead of sewing this week. Took a little break from that. We'll be back next week with some more hobby vlogging. See you then.